If I was being controlled by a woman, that'd be me. See you later.
I know damn well Mitch is not trying to give relationship advice right now. Sir, we don't want to hear from you. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me. I don't know why my skin today is giving very red, but that's okay. It might be the shirt. Maybe blue is not my color. Anyways, I thought this was going to be our last week of Married at First Sight. Turns out it's not. I think we have one more week. So this week is the home stays, and then next week should be the final vows. So before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. So since I wasn't here yesterday, we are going to talk about the commitment ceremony. My notes are taking really long to show up. But let me try to remember who was first. I think first on the couch was Sarah and Tim. First on the couch was Sarah and Tim. And they talk about how great things are going. And honestly, on the surface, it looks like things are great. Things are not so great for Jaden and Eden because of Sarah and Tim.
I made the decision to be open to letting Sarah make it up to me. I just feel like she's been kind of just like appreciative of me.
We see right through it. What was it that you told me then about her and the ex?
I don't need to go into any more details.
Okay, well, if you don't have the full details, it's probably not worth bringing up and telling me. You did say something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, she's spoken badly about Tim. That's the bottom line.
No.
Eden threatened to leave the experiment if Jaden spoke out, but we know that Jaden is a loudmouth. If you tell Jaden, you've told the world. So if you didn't want it to get out, if you didn't want Jaden to get confrontational, maybe not mention the Sarah and Tim situation to him, especially because you are conflict avoidant and he's very conflict attracted. I don't know what the opposite is, but he's cool with conflict, okay? With Sarah and Tim, do I even believe they like each other? No, not really. I don't think she's into him as much as she's trying to make it seem. I think that he is buying time, but he's not going to admit that. He's in a great position right now. Being in the victim role, it's perfect. Who is going to want to be, the villain if you're very clearly the victim? So I don't even believe in their relationship anyways, but at this point, Jaden needs to drop it because it's giving obsessed, okay? What do these people have to do with you? Truly. If Tim, your friend, keeps saying, I'm fine, I'm happy, I'm good, let that man go through what he's going through. That's his business, okay? Moving on. Quickly here, we have Lucinda and Tim who talk about the kiss again, which to me, again, the kiss was really not that romantic, but they say things are a lot better now. This is thanks to Lucinda's patience, which is wearing thin, but we're going to get to that. Jonathan is by himself, but he decided to stay. Jaden and Ridge spent some time with V, which went very well, so they decided to stay. And Cassandra and Tristan finally decided to just stay friends, so they decided to leave together. No, leave separately. They both decided to leave. You know what? You get it. Then we have Eden and Jaden who say that their week actually went well in terms of the feedback. However, this discourse they're having between them is causing a big rift in their relationship.
Eden told me that Sarah had gone out with the ex-boyfriend and they were talking shit about Tim. She wanted me to basically lie. And she said, well, you can't say that because then Sarah will know that I can't keep a secret. Either I do something that I find morally wrong, which is lie, or I lose my wife. A lot of my efforts are kind of just going brushed under the rugs. Like the flowers 5 times a week, taking you out for dinner every weekend. You blew up at me and you said, why don't you do something nice for me for once in your life?
I think people need to learn that oftentimes an ultimatum doesn't get you the result that you want. Because even if they say yes in favor of whatever you're in favor of in the ultimatum, there's often resentment that comes with that. Later on, you'll hear the person say, well, you made me. Well, I felt like I had to because you made, So ultimatums, don't know if that's great. Threatening the end of the relationship, don't know if that's great. Then we hear Jaden talk about how he feels unappreciated. He does all of these grand gestures. I'm really red. I'm really red today. Anyways, he talks about all these, gestures that he does for Eden and how she's all of a sudden saying, I need you to do something for me. So he's like, huh? Apparently, he has been feeling this way for a while. This was just the nail in the coffin. I wonder why they chose not to bring it up. Because all the while, oh, everything's great. Oh, we're perfect. Everything's fine. And now everything's hitting the fan all at once. The interesting thing about them is that they were in a position to counsel other couples. Look at us. Look, we're going so great. But I rarely saw them talk about anything besides maybe their difference in morality, I guess you could say. And that's actually a big one. That is a big one. How are you going to handle certain situations when it comes to morality? I would like to know that we're on the same page, or I can at least accept whatever way you would handle it. And it seems that these two don't agree on how to handle matters of morality. So definitely going to be an issue in the future. Then we have Jack and Tori, who are called out again because even the experts are like, okay, the jig is up.
What aren't you buying, John?
How do you feel about Tori?
Yeah, she makes me feel good. She makes me feel
Oh, don't give me good.
something I've told Tori a few times, like I'm actually sleeping really well.
You can describe it a little bit better than
I've
that.
never been asked about my feelings like that before.
I have strong feelings towards Jack. Am I going to sit here and say I'm in love with Jack? I'm not in love with Jack. He does make me feel quite safe and quite secure, and he does allow me to be me. Do I accept his wrongdoings? No. But I don't hold them against him. Am I for real?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Safe
for
and
real.
secure.
Yeah.
Tori is absolutely not Jack's type. Absolutely not. Somebody sent this to me on Instagram and I was like, wow. Wow. Now, was that to say you can't be attracted to people who aren't your type? No. But Tori is very clearly not what he typically goes for. So that is interesting. Very interesting. Tori must know. She must know. But then here she is like, I see these things that he does, but I know that's not him as a person. And even though I don't agree with his actions, I can still stand behind my man. You standing behind him is co-signing his behavior. Is it not? It is to me. So you might say you don't agree with his behavior, but you staying with him is inadvertently agreeing with his behavior, agreeing with how he conducts himself. He has shown you who he is time and time again. And you want to live in this delusional world and think, no, that I know him. I stay with him all the time. I know who he is. Oh my gosh. I can't. Last on the couch is Andrea and Richard. They've decided to break up.
Richie's spent last week telling me I'm being dishonest.
To say to someone, you're not listening to me, is kind of like saying, you're wrong. We started somewhere very different.
Richie, we didn't know each other those first 2 weeks.
My gut's been telling me she hasn't been into me for a long time.
I'm actually really sad about this one. It's clear that things were just not gelling in the last few weeks, but damn, they were my hope. The meat of the matter with these two is that compatibility is just not there for them. Andrea made a really good point. They both did. They started off really strong, which is what gave me hope. It's what gave Richard hope too. And Richard is saying, but our chemistry at the beginning was so great, which it was. However, like Andrea is saying now, we didn't know each other then. And as we get to know each other more, it's clear that at the core, we just don't belong together. And that's real. Some people are just incompatible and there's nothing we can do about it. So it is sad to see their romance come to an end, but hey, it was nice while it lasted, I guess. So in the next episode, we have Tim, who feels very emotionally drained about opening up. And I have my own thoughts about Tim, but I will say for anybody who has been to therapy or is planning on going to therapy, has been thinking about it and stuff like that, it's going to be something like this for a lot of people, not for everybody, but it's emotionally draining to have to unpack all these things that you were so comfortable keeping in the bags, right? Because once you start opening a bag, sometimes it bursts out at you, or you'll start unpacking and you realize, oh, this bag is deep. Oh, it's still going. Oh, I have to just keep unpacking all of it. It's exhausting. It is absolutely exhausting. So I totally understand where Tim is coming from. The issue that I have with Tim is he's now going to use this as a way to retreat. And so I don't really like that. When we go to the homestays, his apartment was very underwhelming.
It's not the sexiest bedroom in the world. I can do a bit of computer work, do a bit of my photocopying, grab my shoes. It's convenience.
Get up. She's not that well trained. And she pissed on the carpet.
Uh-oh.
She says that she wasn't expecting this, but me personally, I expected exactly this. Oftentimes, I see Tim act like my brother when we used to live together at our parents' house. I'm not surprised that his apartment looks how my brother's room looked when we lived under my parents' roof. Not surprised at all. The way this man can be so immature, I'm like, yeah, you even act like my brother did back then. Truly. Just being honest, okay? So they end up, actually, no, even before I get to that, I've been saying for weeks now that Lucinda bothers me because she just keeps saying, oh, it's okay. Oh, it's fine. Everything's fine. I love the mess. I'm here to help you unpack. I'm here to clean it up. I'm here. Don't do that. Because here we are. Lucinda again is looking at the apartment. Not really for me, but it's fine. It's totally fine. I'll go with it. Then they meet up with the friends. Tim brings up again that he's emotionally drained from all of this. And when he separates to talk to his female friend, the male friend who's there tells Lucinda that when Timothy is in love or at least interested in someone, he's a very doting partner. He will take care of you. He'll provide for you. He'll spoil you, love up on you, and all that stuff. And Lucinda's experiencing none of that. None of it. So she's starting to realize, oh, I deserve more. Oh, this is not okay for me. And I'm like, thank you for finally being honest. It's so great for Lucinda to be this fun-loving, accepting, caring, nurturing type of person. But it's okay to admit, I need that in return and I'm not receiving that. And therefore I need to leave. I can't be everybody's caretaker. Who's going to take care of me? So thank you to the friend for giving her this revelation, child, because she was just going to keep saying, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, when it's very clearly not okay. Another couple who's very clearly not okay, Jaden and Eden. Honey, is anybody going to make it? It doesn't look like it. So, Eden wanted to take some time to herself to process. We know that she's conflict avoidant, but this is a new level.
Jaden is still unable to get in touch with Eden.
My wife is nowhere to be seen, so I'm going by myself.
I'll need to go get the keys.
3 hours later, how about we go?
I'm sorry for snapping. I know I need to not snap.
Yeah.
I've said this like 10 times. So, yeah. I just don't know what else to say. I'm just saying I'm sorry.
I don't know, we're just discussing because that's what they want.
Yeah. So I'm saying I'm sorry for snapping and I need to try not to snap in the future.
Yeah. All she wants to do is apologise. That way she can move straight on and it doesn't get talked about.
They definitely didn't ask us to rehash the same situations 10 times though, so I won't be doing that.
The issue that I have with Eden is that she says she doesn't want to rehash all of these arguments over and over again because she'd rather just apologize and move on so that there isn't conflict. Conflict is needed so that you know how to resolve. And she keeps saying, oh, I've said this over and over and over again. Yeah, you want to know why? Because you haven't actually sat down and talked about where things fell apart. You haven't pinpointed the issue, the root issue, so that it doesn't become a reoccurring issue. You just want to sweep things under the rug and pretend like everything is okay. And she also did it at the family barbecue. I think it was all of Jaden's family and then her dad was present. And she was like, oh yeah, no, things are great. Things are awesome. And Jaden is like, no, they're not. Have that hard conversation. Hash it out. You might need to scuffle a bit, but at the end of it, you now know, okay, so that's why we got to this point, and hopefully in the future, we won't do that again. And even if we do, I'm able to realize, oh, we've been here before. I know what the situation is, but she don't want to do that, so let's move on. Lauren is back in the experiment. She is very excited to show Jonathan around at the apartment. If you ask me, I felt like Jonathan wasn't that excited to be around Lauren. I could be tripping, But that's what I felt. Then he is introduced to Lauren's best friend, and she gives the green light.
I feel like the thing that's our biggest issue right now is our energy doesn't match. I need someone that's gonna like stand up for me and, you know, be assertive and like confident and all this stuff.
Are you always this kind of calm and reserved, like?
I was actually, when I was 20, I was super aggressive and abrasive.
But I like the calm side now. I don't want you to be like aggressive.
Take it down a notch. I've known you for 15 years and you
like...
still sometimes make me so anxious.
Do I?
God, yes.
I feel like at the end of the day, these two are going to be really good friends. I just don't see the romantic potential between them, which is off base, apparently, because they ended up having sex. This is the first time they've had sex since their honeymoon. So clearly the home state is working for them. But to me, Jonathan reads as disinterested. And so Lauren is talking about her conflict resolution is, you know, being loud and hashing things out and, you know, protect me, fight with me. And Jonathan's like, I'm just not like that. I used to be more rah-rah, but I've learned to tame that. But for me, his tame nature gives me timid. What was I going to say? Timid? I think I wanted to say intimidated. A little bit of that too. Intimidated, timid, and distant, and disinterested. Just a lot of that. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm saying we'll see, even though we know how things end with Jonathan, but we'll see. Then the episode ends with Lucinda and Timothy. They have hit the wall. They've absolutely hit the wall. Timothy has reached his breaking point, and Lucinda is also like, well, I guess I'm done too.
You said to me, I'm going away for 1 hour, and you were back 7 or 8 hours later, you know, and in this whole experience, I haven't felt welcome.
Everyone wants you to be all this emotional thing, but you don't want the other side of it, which is draining. You know what? I should have never dug into last week. I'm actually, I've got nothing left. I'm just over it.
Am I disappointed? Well, you know, I mean, a little bit, you know, because I held hope in moments. I am not going to superimpose myself upon somebody that doesn't want or celebrate me. I am defining what I want in my life, and it's very different to this.
From the beginning, I've been saying Lucinda is going to be Timothy's blessing. His blessing. He needed somebody like Lucinda to help him on this journey. And it's great that he found his journey. This man should have never been married, though. This man should have never been accepted to be in this process, but we know the experts don't actually care about well-being. With Lucinda, I said she is going to be drained. And she has reached that point. She's tired. She's exhausted. And she, throughout this entire process, deserved somebody who was even going to give her half of what she was giving to Tim. And Tim wasn't that guy. Tim was giving her the bare minimum, less than the bare minimum at times. And she was just like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay if it's not okay, sis. It's okay if it's not okay. And I wanted her to be more honest. So I'm glad she finally decided to be honest, because this relationship wasn't working. And that's okay. Sometimes they don't work. So we'll see where things go with them. Oh, wait, hold on. Hello? Okay. What was I saying? I don't even remember. The point of the matter is, everybody's relationship is on fire. Besides Lauren. Okay, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.